Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Just jumping back into things, of course using Ralph Dude's team. For those that have not seen the last couple of episodes, this team got third at the World Championships this past year, and the creator of the team was kind enough to put it on the global link, so if you want to try this team out yourself, check out the QR code linked in the description below. Also give him a follow on Twitter, and go check out his Worlds Report, all really good VGC content and great stuff out there. So we're just going to get into the first game of today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please share support by leaving a like in the video, I really appreciate it. My first opponent of the day is called Aaron, and he's running a team of Snorlax, Arcanine, Porygon, Kartana, Araquanid, and the Goodra. So, nothing too crazy here other than Goodra. Goodra is a Pokemon that we've seen somewhat throughout VGC 17. Sejum Park most notably used it on a team, like earlier on in the season, but it didn't really make a big splash like at Nationals or Worlds, and it's still definitely something that's a little bit annoying to go up against though. So otherwise, you know, Porygon, Arcanine, Kartana, Snorlax all really standard, Araquanid also really standard. So nothing too crazy here, and I'm thinking maybe I can just go Persian Salamence immediately to fake out Dragon Dance. Salamence seems like it's really good here, especially because Kartana, Arcanine really can't do much against it, neither can Araquanid. Goodra is the only real threat. So the one downside is if my opponent leaves like Porygon 2 and Goodra. But if that's the case, then I can just bring in Snorlax, I think. Because Snorlax is my Trick Room answer, basically. Alternatively, I could just lead Coco, but I think I like the Persian Salamence lead here. I don't really want... Let's see, I definitely want Snorlax, and for the last one, Steel is like kind of tempting, but it doesn't really do too much, actually. So it's between Marowak and Coco, and I'm going to go with Marowak. Just because it's slightly better offensively, and it's a little bit bulkier as well. I think Coco might have honestly been a better call just because it is faster than everything, and it has the Choice Scarf, and Electro Ball does a ton of damage, so in retrospect, like, that might have been a better Pokemon to bring. Just, my opponent does have, like, an Araquanid. Obviously, Marowak doesn't like facing against water types in general, but, I don't know, it, like, matches up decently against Porygon and the Goodra. I'm going to lead Persian and Salamence. It's going to be Goodra and Porygon 2 for my opponent. That was like the one lead I was kind of afraid of, but that's okay. Because what this means is I can just go for a Fake Out on a Goodra and switch out into Snorlax. Yeah. See, download gives it a attack increase. Yep. Yeah, so this gives me an opportunity to belly drum before my opponent Snorlax can come in if he stays in with both of his Pokemon. And Marowak also matches up decently here. So, yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Marowak was because I was assuming like Trick Room might go up this game. So let's see. Snorlax comes out. Does my opponent switch out? No, he doesn't, which is really good for me. Because Porygon's not going to be doing much here other than an Ice Beam or a Trick Room. And it does go for Trick Room, which is perfect for my Snorlax now, which is should be able to just get a belly drum up, which is super nice. So I think I will belly drum right away with Snorlax. The question is what I want to do with Persian. Parting Shot probably makes the most sense. I think I will Parting Shot into Goodra's probably the better answer. But getting the -1 on Porygon is kind of nice just because then I can survive an Ice Beam. No, I'll still go into Goodra. And then, because that way I can bring in Marowak and I'll just belly drum right away. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring Snorlax and why Snorlax is really good in general. My opponent actually stays in with both Pokemon, which is kind of surprising. Now I'm kind of worried on what he is going to do. But Snorlax now is at +6 attack. If Trick Room doesn't get reversed, I'll be the fastest Pokemon. If it does get reversed, I'll just get a free switch in. Goodra just goes for a Draco Meteor. Okay, that's fine with me. Targeting the Persian, actually. I'm fine with that. It's gonna wow. It almost knocked me out. Is that Choice Specs? I don't know my Goodra damage calcs, to be quite honest. But I'm willing to say that might be Specs. And it looks like my opponent is going to be reversing the Trick Room again, which makes sense. Parting Shot here, though, will be able to make Goodra basically completely useless. And now I can bring in Salamence. Do I want to bring in Salamence? Marowak might be a bit better. Yeah, I like Marowak more. I want to conserve the Intimidate just because I know my opponent does have physical type attackers in the back. And so basically this Porygon slot, like, Porygon does reverse Trick Room now, but now my Snorlax is at +6 and throws both of my opponent's Pokemon. The Goodra is going to do absolutely nothing at -3 special attack, so it's probably going to want to switch out. But, you know, my opponent doesn't exactly have great switch outs. So I could double up onto the Goodra slot. with like, and because a double up into that slot will knock out anything. But maybe I want to recycle this turn with Snorlax. No, I think I should go for a knockout. Yeah, I'm gonna go straight for the double up, Shadow Bone, and Facade. Yeah. Just because I'm, yeah, confident Goodra switching out here. Let's see what comes in. It's an Araquanid. Okay, that's perfect. Getting rid of that's nice. Just because that is a big threat to my Marowak. So Shadow Bone's gonna come out. Probably not gonna knock it. Oh wow, it actually crits for a knockout. That's unfortunate. That probably just seals up the game right there for me. Just because now I'll be able to one-shot the Porygon. Actually, I don't know if Facade knocks out Porygon. I don't think it does. My opponent could freeze me as well, but no freeze. Yeah, because I don't knock out Araquanid, and wow, actually, Facade at +6 does only 50% of Porygon, but that shouldn't be too surprising for a bunch of reasons. But Kartana is going to come out, so that's like slightly concerning, but I do have Salamence in the back, obviously. So, let's see. I've knocked out, I know Goodra's in the back. Flare Blitz will just knock out Kartana. Yeah, I mean, it could be Fighting MZ Kartana, it could be Sash. Regardless, I think Flare Blitzing into Kartana and going for a Facade into Porygon's pretty safe. If you're not Fighting Z, a Sacred Sword won't knock out my Snorlax. Unless it crits. Yep, nice. And Flare Blitz here will either bring you down to its Sash. If you're not Sash, obviously just knocks out. If you are Sash, then the Persian in the back has Fake Out and Foul Play Wild Speed Kartana and just finish that off. So I will take a lot of recoil, but that's fine. Relatively safe play. Porygon goes for Recover. Well, I like that a lot on my opponent's end. That does make things kind of annoying, because I could have maybe recycled instead, but that's fine. As Facade here will once again bring Porygon down to around 50%, or just under. So I am faster with Marowak. I wonder if a Flare Blitz will knock out the Porygon. It looks rather defensive. But I think my opponent's still kind of in a tricky position, because it's like, you can Sacred Sword to knock out Snorlax, but then I can just Shadow Bone to knock out your Kartana. I could consider switching Snorlax out right now, to be honest. It's highly unlikely an Ice Beam goes into the Snorlax slot. But if it does, I lose my main win condition in Salamence. So I think I'll just play this turn safe and go for a Recycle in the off chance my opponent lets me get it off, because Kartana could protect here. But I suspect it will just Sacred Sword Snorlax, Shadow Bone will knock out Kartana, and Porygon will recover again. But then what I can do is... oh wow. Night Slash. And that knocks me out. Interesting. I didn't expect Night Slash because that's Focus Sash Kartana. And typically you're not going to have room for Night Slash. So that definitely caught me off guard. Interesting. Like, the typical moveset you want to run is Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, and Protect. So maybe my opponent has Night Slash over Smart Strike. That would make the most sense, because you're definitely going to want Leaf Blade. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I'm just going to bring in Persian now. I can just fake out the Kartana and Foul Play that slot the next turn. Kartana probably detects here. Maybe it doesn't have Detect, though. Like, that's the move it gave up. So I'm just going to fake out and Facade. Yeah, and the other cool thing is I have Quash on Persian, so I should be able to just outspeed everything. Persian is faster than Kartana in terms of base speed. Kartana's obviously not Choice Scarf. We saw the Focus Sash earlier. Porygon here could choose to recover. Actually, no. I mean, there's no reason for it to recover because I'm slower. So you're going to probably just Ice Beam. Kartana actually switches out, which is probably the smartest play my opponent could make, which is now Goodra puts on some more pressure. But that's still fine. And the reason why I'm okay with this is because like Porygon at most is getting an Ice Beam off, and that's not really going to do too much. Unless it freezes me. That's like the one downside. So as long as I don't get frozen here, I'll be good. And I don't. Nice. Okay, cool. Yep, so Facade comes out now. So what this means is now I can actually go for a Quash onto the Goodra, which I'm relatively sure is Choice Specs and Facade. Since Quash delays the attack until the end, basically it'll ensure that Snorlax gets the Facade off before Goodra gets to attack. That's a big deal because Porygon right now is not doing anything offensively, and you can see how I'm trying to maneuver around Porygon. I know it's a really bulky threat and not going to obviously heal, but Snorlax is going to win the 1v1 against Porygon any day, obviously because I'm at +6 attack and I have my own way of recovery as well. So first I'm using Quash with this Persian specifically. Should probably just allow me to win the game. Porygon's going to recover, but like I said, that's not really a threat to me at all right now because it's not knocking out Snorlax anytime soon, so all I need to do is attack around it. That means that Snorlax will get the Facade off before the Goodra attacks, and Facade is weaker than Return, but is still able to knock out Goodra, which is relatively frail defensively. Of course, I'm at +6 attack. Some people were asking why Facade on this Snorlax, or why Facade on Belly Drum Snorlax in general, and there are a couple of reasons for that, but a lot of people were running status moves at Worlds in general, so Will-O-Wisp and Toxic specifically, so Facade allows you to benefit from that. It also allows you to build the Snorlax super defensively, and you see, like, even at +6, like, you're still knocking out most things pretty much. So Kartana comes back in, that's fine. I'm just going to go for a foul play into Kartana, play it safe, and just go for Facade into Porygon. I mean, Kartana here, I guess, needs to detect. Porygon needs to freeze Persian, but Kartana doesn't. And I'm thinking maybe it doesn't have a protecting move just because we did see that Night Slash, which definitely caught me off guard, but I knew that that wouldn't be too much of an issue just because Porygon is really dead weight right now and a sitting duck for my opponent. So Ice Beam comes out, you see how little it does against the poor Snorlax, and Facade here will just chunk Porygon down to under 50% again, and now I can just quash and knock it out this next turn. So, yeah, relatively straightforward game. Snorlax able to come in right away, and basically, like, oops, I meant to click quash. Basically, because I was able to get Snorlax in while my opponent set up Trick Room, like, my opponent had no counterplay to that. If you look at my opponent's team composition, it was Porygon, Araquanid, Goodra, and the Kartana. So it's like, you need to prevent Snorlax from belly drumming before it's able to start getting attacks off. And so, like, turn 1 worked out perfectly because I didn't take any damage and Snorlax was able to get the belly drum off. My opponent didn't have his own Snorlax, didn't have Intimidate, and because I have faster Pokemon with, like, Persian and Salamence, I was able to kind of play around that as well, knowing, like, okay, if you reverse my Trick Room, I'll still have Pokemon that outspeed you, and then my Snorlax is just so bulky that I don't have to worry about you being faster than me, even if you reverse Trick Room, which is what my opponent did. But, yeah, I was kind of talking in Team Preview, like, oh, Goodra Porygon, probably the most annoying lead against my Persian and Salamence, because had my opponent gone for any other combination, like, I probably could have just faked out Dragon Dance and swept with Salamence immediately, especially with Parting Shot and Quash Pressure from the Persian. Instead, my opponent went for a more defensive option with Porygon and Goodra, and like that just like shows and demonstrates why Snorlax was really good throughout the 2017 season. Its ability to just put on so much pressure with Belly Drum and counter Trick Room was really nice, and the Araquanid on my opponent's end did absolutely nothing. So I was kind of debating about bringing Coco, but ultimately I'm actually pretty happy I brought the Marowak just because it put in a lot of pressure once I was able to Parting Shot out of it. So our next opponent of the day, Optimus Jark, running a team of Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Kartana, Porygon, Garchomp, and Incineroar. So the Incineroar definitely interesting, offers fake out support, fast Koko on my opponent's end. Some similar Pokemon obviously from the last game with Porygon and Kartana. How do I want to lead this time around? I could go Persian and Salamence again. That honestly doesn't seem too bad. It's just if my opponent leads Porygon and Koko, that would be kind of annoying. And I think there's a decent chance that comes out. So if my opponent brings Porygon and Koko, my play is probably to just switch out into the Marowak that I have. I kind of want Koko as my last one. Snorlax is kind of tempting here, but a little bit less tempting because of the Celesteela and the Kartana. But we just saw how well Snorlax can match up against Porygon specifically. However, this time around, my own Celesteela is also kind of tempting, but I don't have Flamethrower, which means I don't do that much to Kartana. Can't Leech Seed it. And there was also Incineroar and a Koko. So I think I'm actually going to bring my own Tapu Koko this time around. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I just don't feel as comfortable with Snorlax this time around because my opponent's team, like last time, was definitely Trick Room oriented. This time Porygon definitely has Trick Room, but I don't think it's going to be relying on it as much because there's a Koko, a Garchomp. Those are both pretty fast Pokemon, and a Kartana as well. So yeah, I think this is going to play out kind of differently from the last one. We'll see how it goes out. Maybe this time I can get a Dragon Dance or two off with my Salamence. It's going to be Incineroar and Porygon 2 from my opponent's end. I'm pretty content about that because I'll get the initial Intimidate off onto the Incineroar. I'll be able to get a Fake Out off. And then the question is, I guess the question is, what does Incineroar have? It could be the Dark Z move, and that could be annoying. So instead of Dragon Dance, I could just Fake Out and Z move Incineroar. But if I Z-move, that's like a big commitment immediately. And then I'm forced to use Fly for the remainder of the course for damage output. Do I really want to do that? I'm not sure. I think I'll Fake Out Porygon. I should survive with Dark Z-move, so I will, I think, just Dragon Dance this first turn. If Incineroar protects, that'd be perfect, but I don't expect it to. I think we could see a Fake Out just go into the Salamence slot as well. It looks like Fake Out is coming out, and it is target Salamence, yeah. Getting a crit, unfortunately. That could be annoying, but overall. Porygon is going to flinch. So I'm definitely going to Parting Shot here. And I'm actually pretty worried about Incineroar. Like, this combination, I don't have much great damage output against. Parting Shot, Porygon. Like, Z-moving Incineroar is probably the safest play. I think I'm going to do that, yeah. Just because Incineroar is a pretty major threat to my whole team, honestly, but specifically the Marowak and the Koko in the back. It does a lot of damage with Dark and Fire. So, neither Pokemon switch out, neither Protect, which is good. If that Incineroar isn't Focus Sash, it should just be going down, and I'm not sure what item it has, honestly. There's a decent chance it's Sash, but I've seen a lot of Z moves on Incineroar. That seems to be, like, more common. So, I'm going to bring in Marowak now, just because it matches up pretty decently in the sense that Porygon can't touch it, and I don't think a Dark-type attack is going to go into the Persian slot, which just switched out. So, I will get my Z move off here. Let's see if it knocks out the Incineroar. Damage-wise, it should do enough. It's just a question of whether it's Focus Sash or not. And because I went for the Parting Shot, I should be able to survive an Ice Beam at -1, too. I hope so. That would be nice. But the issue still is I don't have great output against this Porygon, too, because I didn't bring Snorlax this time around. So... Oh, wow. It hung on, and it has a Figi Berry. Yikes. Did that go into the Marowak slot, too? Wow, I got outplayed completely there. That's crazy. What a prediction. And I do survive the Ice Beam, but that's not good for me. That's really not good. I really thought Incineroar would go down there, so clearly it was bulky. I could have Dragon Danced there with Salamence, but I opted not to because I was fearing Incineroar's Z move. So that must have a lot of investment. We saw that the Dark-type attack won't knock out Marowak, but it's still pretty concerning. I mean... I want to just protect an Earthquake here. Yeah, I think I will. That is really not good. That was a very good prediction on my opponent's end. Incineroar switches out as well. Koko coming in here would be nice, but it's going to be Garchomp. This game just got really tricky. I don't think I played my Salamence correctly. I should have maybe prioritized Dragon Dancing. And this is going to be really tricky now, because Garchomp is also a major threat, and presumably I'm going to be losing my Salamence here to an Ice Beam. I don't think Garchomp's in Foul Play KO range either. And Porygon actually ups the Toxic Salamence. Interesting. So probably expecting to catch a switch out or saying, okay, if you stay in, I'll knock you out. Just because Poison will knock you out, though of course you have to risk Toxic missing there. I actually don't get knocked out either. Whoa. Ah, that's not fun. Maybe Snorlax was the call here. Marowak might just get Tech Raged here. I might have to just sack Marowak. Garchomp could Swords Dance, but if it does, it's going to be in Foul Play KO range. I'm just going to Flare Blitz Porygon and Earthquake here, because I expect Garchomp to knock out one of my two things. I guess Garchomp could Protect here, and Porygon could just recover. Yeah, I might just have knocked out my own Marowak. I thought Garchomp definitely would want to like Swords Dance or just attack there. I think EQ probably just knocks out my own Marowak, which makes me look really silly. Yep. Okay, this is bad. I crit my Marowak too. And Porygon recovers. That was a really smart and safe play on my opponent's end. I should have just Flare Blitz, I guess. Like, the logic there was... I'm trying to think now. So the issue is now I'm down to 2 Pokemon and I have a Scarf Koko in the back, which isn't good. Starlax probably would have been the call here. But I'm trying to justify that play. It's like, okay, the Salamence is admin, so if it's Jolly Chop, it just outspeeds me. And if I was like, Rock Slide, you knock me out, but then I Flare Blitz onto the Porygon after you recover. So, yeah, because I could have just Flare Blitzed and... I guess my opponent knew I had Earthquake, so it's like, my opponent probably thought I would try to get greedy, which I did try to, and that was bad. So the issue now is that I have Scarf Koko, and I have to lock myself into something. I don't think a Foul Play knocks out Garchomp either, so you would think the answer has to be Dazzling Gleam. But obviously I don't want to lock myself into that, like I really want to Electro Ball. Yeah, the play where I just Earthquaked myself was really bad. I was trying to get some bargain out of it, but like in retrospect, it just makes little sense. And I lost way too much there for absolutely nothing. So that was a really bad turn. I think my opponent's been playing really well as well. So, I mean... do I think a Fake Out plus a Foul Play will knock out Garchomp? The other issue is I just don't have great damage output against Porygon at this point either. I might have to Electro Ball. Fake out. And yeah, I'm gonna Electro Ball. Because I don't think I can knock out Porygon any other way. Garchomp actually switches out, probably into Incineroar? Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, Porygon probably just Trick Rooms here. Yeah, I totally should have prevented that option. That's really bad. Oh, just Toxics. Okay. That's still bad. Now I'm on a pretty big timer. And Incineroar can just Fake Out and Porygon can Trick Room. I think I've lost this already, yeah. I just did not play well around Salamence at all. How would I replay this if I could? Because Pokemon choice-wise, I don't have the biggest regrets. I think Snorlax probably would have been the call, although it would have been interesting. Like, Toxic would have boosted my attack, but then I would have been on a bigger timer as well. So, I mean, now you probably just Trick Room. You Fake Out Coco and Trick Room. So I guess I'll, like, Parting Shot Incineroar to decrease its attack. Yeah, I think I'm screwed. My opponent just played really well, and I screwed up. Oh, wow. Porygon switches out. Yeah, that actually gives me a small window of opportunity now. Which... Oh, wow. That's a really big window of opportunity. Incineroar didn't protect either. Huh. Although... Yeah, that's bad. I really wish I Foul Played there instead, because now I'm going to do less damage with Foul Play against the Garchomp, and I can't touch it with Coco. Should I have Foul Played Porygon? I don't know. That would have been a super crazy prediction, but... I don't know. I think my opponent should have just faked out there and attacked with Porygon. But maybe my opponent knows, like, I have the resources to close this one out anyway. Especially with Coco coming out here in the back, yeah. I don't even think a Foul Play crit knocks out Garchomp. But maybe 2 Foul Plays will. I think I've still lost this, but I'm going to Foul Play Garchomp and just Electro Ball my opponent's Coco. Actually, Garchomp probably just Z-moves here. Yeah, and Electro Ball doesn't 2-shot. Dazzling Gleam probably just knocks out my Persian, to be honest. Let's see. It does, okay. Yeah, so that's game. Yeah, even if I Foul Played last turn, I still would have lost because Coco would have been faster and Garchomp did have Tectonic Rage. So, yeah, really well played by my opponent, and the turn where I Earthquaked myself really just made no sense in retrospect. Like, I was just kind of clicking buttons and not thinking very well about that. But I don't know, this matchup was really weird. Like, the thing that really caught me off guard was basically Incineroar being able to have so much HP. And surviving my Z move from Salamence. Because what I was thinking for this game was, like, that caught me off guard, which was bad. I was hoping to get, like, a Fake Out and a Dragon Dance off, but I probably should have conserved my Z move to nuke the Porygon a little bit harder. And the other issue was just let... Yeah, I mean, like, even if I don't Earthquake myself there, I get a Flare Blitz off against Porygon. And then I guess I get a free switch into Persian, which would make things a little bit better, because then I could Fake Out Shadow Bone. So losing Marowak was really bad. So Earthquake myself, obviously not very smart. I thought maybe I could have survived Earthquake too, but obviously, like, I put myself in the range to crit myself, which was bad. And I would have fainted anyway from Recoil afterwards from Flare Blitz. So I should have just basically let Salamence faint and just like Dragon Dance or Fly and waste its turn and just try to get an attack off with Marowak, because losing that was really bad. So at the time I was like, oh, I don't think Garchomp will protect here, and if it... Like, I thought it would Tectonic Rage into Marowak, so I was thinking, okay, if it does Tech Rage into Marowak, then I'll get the Earthquake, which puts Garchomp into KO range from a Foul Play, and then I can more confidently lock my Coco into Electric-type attack, more specifically Electro Ball. But I think the main mistake I made was also playing Coco with an endgame, because it wasn't in the like, I wasn't in a position where I can just really clean things up. Locking myself into Dazzling Gleam might have also been smarter, just because it would have been able to knock out the Garchomp, but I was really worried that I had no way to knock out Porygon had I locked myself into Dazzling Gleam, and it could just stall me out, whereas Electro Ball at least was very close to a 2-shot, so Electro Ball plus Foul Play would knock out. But overall, just like super careless that turn by Earthquaking, and I didn't have a very good definitive game plan, which was also bad. Like, Snorlax in retrospect probably would have been a pretty good call. I chose Coco because I was really worried about Celesteela, but my team does have a bunch of things that you don't want to go up against when you're running Celesteela, like Marowak and like Coco itself. And so, yeah, maybe I should have gamed Team Preview a little bit harder and just said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to bring the Snorlax instead of the Coco. I don't think Celesteela is a Pokemon I really want in that matchup, while my opponent has Incineroar and Coco, so that I don't think would have swayed the matchup too differently, but one, bringing Snorlax would have changed things, and then two, conserving Marowak and not leaving Coco, like my Coco, for the end game. those are all mistakes that I can learn from. So, yeah, it's going to be it for this episode. Not the cleanest of play in that second game, but definitely, newer to the team, like I mentioned, and it's a pretty different play style from what I'm used to. So, definitely, every loss, I think you can take away a lot from. So, really fun one, at least, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, leave a like if you did, and thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.